Another beautiful Tuesday morning in the
You
Smokies.
know, it really is gorgeous today.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is
perfect.
It is a beautiful day. Well, welcome to Story Time with Santa and Mrs. Claus.
On Morning in the Mountains.
Yes,
so
we're so
thank you
glad
so
you
much
could
for
be
joining
here.
us on
Yeah.
Mountain Fun Life. We got a good show for you. You're going to enjoy this. So we got a lot of comments about a show we just did recently where Mrs. Claus and I tried a new mode of transportation besides the sleigh.
We did.
And, and I got to tell you, it was absolutely incredible. And
We had
you'll
so
hear
much
more
fun.
about it in a minute.
We did.
But we have gotten so many comments and so many people asking for more details and more information.
Yep.
So we said, you know what? We should probably just go to the source itself and let him answer all the information. So Marc Hightower is here from Sky High Air Tours.
Yeah.
And he's the one that gave us our little ride. So he was our reindeer for the day. So, but anyway, so we're going to let him describe and talk about his service. And, we've had so many people that are interested in this.
Well, we did, yeah.
And
yeah.
I'll tell you, it's wonderful. And I recommend it highly to all.
Well, and because some people were asking us, did you really enjoy that? Was it scary?
Yeah.
And I'd have to say absolutely not. I love to fly, so that was good for me.
Of course, I'm used to it for hundreds of years.
He always is. And but heights themselves actually do bother me. I don't like that kind of thing, but somehow in that plane you got, I don't know what it was about it, that obviously you knew you were up, but it wasn't scary. So
well, let's bring on our guest. So and again, he can tell you why it's not so scary. So Marc, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is so good to have you on here with Storytime with Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys, and thank you for having me on.
Seriously, we had gotten so many requests and information for more information. And not just the prices, although you can certainly discuss that if you'd like, but just more about how to get in touch with you, how much lead time do they need. A couple people asked, the different durations of flights and stuff. So why don't you give us kind of a quick overview of Sky High Air Tours and tell us a little more about it.
We'll probably start with the airplane. The airplane itself is a 1927 open-cockpit biplane that has been painstakingly restored and lovingly restored to pretty much like new condition. So you're not flying in an old dilapidated airplane. When you see the airplane, it looks like a nice, shiny new airplane. I've got a variety of different flights. First off, I can carry 2 passengers up to a combined weight of 400 pounds. There is a weight limit, or a single person limit of 300 pounds. I start with a short introductory flight over Sevierville. About 8 minutes or so is like $99 for both and that's for both passengers. 15-minute flight.
That's
we
a
go
great
over
price.
Pigeon Forge and the foothills. We get to see Dollywood and a lot of the attractions and a quick view of the mountains. And then I have a 30-minute flight as well. So, and then I have every once in a while have people ask, do I do longer flights? And I will, fly longer if somebody wants to. I just, just figure I give, kind of start with the 3.
For those that missed our little video of that, I'm going to ask Hannah, our producer, to go ahead and run that and we can talk over that. So, we'll have questions. And by all means, start a watch party. We had a lot of comments. So this is your chance to ask Marc directly by contacting us and letting us know that you're on and that, and if you have any questions, we'll try and get Marc to answer them all or give you the information you're looking for. So by all means, but yeah, okay. Go ahead, Hannah, and run that video. And I'll tell you, Marc takes exceptional care of all his passengers. I mean, he gives you a full explanation of what's going on, the bit about the plane. He'll tell you the history. And when he talks about lovingly, painstakingly restored. He is not kidding. And it was very comfortable. I got to say, Mark, I was surprised how comfortable that plane was.
I generally try to steer my passengers towards flying early in the day for that reason. If we go early in the day before the wind comes up, the air is going to be a lot smoother, and you don't hardly even notice that you're flying out there. In the afternoon, as the land heats up, that hot rising air will kind of make it a little bumpy up there, but it's no worse than like driving down a dirt road in a pickup truck or something. It's not like we take these death-defying drops or anything, where you hit the, come flying out of your seat. If it were like that, I wouldn't be taking you up. I am very quick to cut it off if we have high winds or iffy conditions. I don't take the plane up with passengers. I've flown in winds like that, but I don't carry passengers.
No, and I noticed that too. I got to say that the flight was so smooth, and as was the takeoff and the landing. I don't know how you did that. I wasn't even sure that we were actually had landed.
Yeah, that we were on the ground.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you the whole experience. And I thought the takeoff was so, it's like all of a sudden, I'm watching the land leave us, and it was like I barely knew we were in the air. So
well, that's true.
Very smooth.
Now, one of the things you talked about, and we can see the plane behind
which
you,
is gorgeous,
so
absolutely beautiful.
Talk a little bit about the what were those planes primarily used for, Mark?
Well, you have to understand that this airplane was built in the infancy of aviation.
Right.
So they were still kind of figuring things out back then. What is it? WACO, the airplane itself is called a WACO. It stands for Weaver Aircraft Company.
Okay.
And they kind of figured that everybody was going to be using airplanes mostly commercially. So that's why the front cockpit is really big. They thought that people would be using it for hauling cargo. They were used for crop dusting. They were used for transport, and that's why, I know it sounds funny, but they just figured they'd make it big enough to carry 2 passengers in case somebody carried passengers in the airplane. When I was working on the airplane and I was studying past paperwork for doing approvals through the FAA for different things, I remember reading about like one airplane in particular during the 1930s that had actually been caught by U.S. Customs coming across from Canada with a front loaded full of 72 bottles of Canadian Scotch.
My!
So
Even back then.
Cargo planes, they were used for mail and
course,
whatever other uses airplanes were, basically what they came up with at that time.
Wow, and and it really is incredible. It's surprisingly big in the front cockpit.
Very comfortable, actually, and it was easier to get into than I thought.
Yeah, there she is. She's getting in right now, and
all decked out.
Actually, I was a little concerned about that because with the sleigh, it's just one step up and I'm in.
Well, that's right.
And this was a little trickier than that, but not bad at all. And see, there I am. I'm happy as a clam in my spot. So now the helmets that we're wearing there, we don't actually fly with those.
No, those are just basically props we use for taking pictures. Sadly, with the coronavirus, I'll let you guys wear them then, but right now I'm not using the props because of a risk of somebody transferring or
Yes, we got to be a little more careful.
But we still, before we go flying, I do encourage people to take pictures with the airplane. To have
absolutely,
for their memories.
Absolutely. And then you sit
and you're going to want them.
You're in the seat behind us, which was kind of.
Yeah, like I said, aviation was in its infancy at that time, so they figured that the reason why they put the pilot in the back is where the passengers or the cargo sit is where the airplane balances, and you can change that weight up there without affecting the balance of the airplane. The average person in the 1920s was, our average guy was 5'7". 170 pounds, so they made the plane balance with 170 pounds in the back cockpit.
We've gotten a little bigger since then.
Yeah, but you're up there where it doesn't matter.
But anyway, and Kira's explaining that he took us down the runway, we made a little turn, and then we took off, and boy, I'm telling you, it was so smooth. I still can't get over a plane of that age and how smooth it was and how comfortable the whole flight was.
Because you don't really know what to expect, but it really was just wonderful, and And boy, and we had a gorgeous day.
Oh, perfect.
When you took us up, it was kind of like today. It
Yep.
was just beautiful blue skies and not again no turbulence when we went up. And you know, we went on the shorter flight, but boy, we still saw a lot, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I mean, we went over Dollywood. We went over. Well, you know this
Yeah,
tour
the flight I
better
took
than-
you guys on was my middle flight.
Okay.
You know, where we go up over Pigeon Forge. And the neat thing, too, is you go to a lot of the attractions in town there, and then you get to see them from the
It
air.
was,
you know, and
yes,
it's like,
yes.
well, boy, Dollywood sure looks a lot smaller from up here.
It really
it did.
did. I mean, I've walked that park enough to know,
Well,
and it's like,
yeah. In
it
fact, when
seems-
you pointed it out, it's like really.
that was
there-
quite a
there's our
surprise.
disheveled look
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I will tell you, make sure you tie your hair down tight. And you know, it took a couple days to get all the curls back in
Yeah. It
place.
did,
So
it did.
you know, in fact, you know, I was thinking this morning. I took a shower, and just the thought of you coming, my hair started to tangle. So.
Well, that's why he
But
has
yeah,
his hair in a ponytail.
Yeah, and even that was even after I had my beard trimmed. So, but that's part of the fun of the flight itself. So,
Yeah,
I mean, we
yeah.
really did. We had an incredible time, and I so strongly recommend this to everybody to try this. This has got to be on a lot of people. Well, we've heard from a couple of our friends that it's on their bucket list. So,
Yes, actually, we did, and we have encouraged so many people that you know you shouldn't wait. And really, and I do think too, Mark, your prices are wonderful because it is for two.
yes.
Which-
Oh, yes.
You
Yeah.
know, that's
Whether it's one
unusual.
person or two.
Right, right. And we've got Craig is
Ah,
watching
hey,
us.
good morning, Craig Brummerstedt.
Good morning. So glad you're joining us, Craig. We're glad to have you here with us.
Well, he doesn't have a fear of heights.
No. He said he says, well, no. He says, well, not for me, fear of heights. But Craig, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but actually I do too. And I did not have a problem with this. It's just I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
even
just-
those that are a little skittish on this,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
again,
know.
it's amazing how comfortable and smooth that is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever taken a commercial flight, I can guarantee you had more bumps on that than you had on this
Oh,
one.
absolutely.
So,
And he
yeah.
says, Santa, you're such a daredevil. Well, he has to be because you ride in the sleigh. So
I was going to say, want to talk about a daredevil? Try that. That little trick is really tough. But anyway, so now getting in touch with you is as easy as a phone call, I know. Can they also text you? Can they email you? And about how long should they give you in advance? I know weather and everything has to be a factor of this.
Yeah, I get people that will contact me and say, well, I'm coming out in 3 months. Can I make a reservation? I always recommend no more than about a week beforehand, because then we can kind of keep an eye on what the weather's doing. Because like I said earlier, I cut it off if the weather's not good. We're not going
sure.
flying.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
The best way, a couple ways, obviously probably the first thing is check out the website, skyhighairtours.com. The history of the airplane, a lot of good information, pictures of the airplane are all on the website.
And I've got
We
that
got it right up there.
actually-
It's
what-
showing
oh,
right
it's showing
now.
right now.
There you
So,
go. Yeah,
there we
and
are.
all the
So, yeah.
flights and the prices are on the website. And then when you're ready to make a reservation, my phone number, 865-742, and then spells out 2FLY, 2359. I came up with that when I was, but that's the best way. And like I said, just contact me. I will take walk-ups. You know, I mean, some people just show up and want,
Happen
and
to
like,
be
hey,
there.
I'm here, go to flying. But it's always best to call first, because what can happen, I have a busy day, or I'm off doing an interview with Santa, or, you know, something like that.
Like that,
So I may
Right
not
now,
be there, and
as beautiful as it
Right.
is, he's with me now. So,
Yeah.
you know, he
And,
can't take you anywhere.
you know, you guys are on vacation. I don't want you sitting around the airport wasting your vacation waiting on me. I want you to be able to just
Right,
come right
right.
in and go for a flight. You
yeah,
know, so
that makes sense.
Well,
that's
and
why it's
one
always
thing-
good to call and make a reservation first.
One thing I wanted to clarify, because it can be a little confusing. It's called the Gatlinburg Air. It's called
Gatlinburg?
Gatlinburg Pigeon
Pigeon
Forge
Forge.
Airport.
Pigeon Forge Air.
Airport.
Airport.
That's correct.
But it's in Sevierville.
Yes, it's the Gatlinburg Pigeon
So
Forge
I think we
Airport,
should
located in
clarify
beautiful
that for
downtown
people.
Sevierville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so really it is off, it's in Sevierville, and it's off the
Dolly Parton
Dolly Parton
Parkway.
Parkway.
Dolly Parton Parkway. So for you that, you're coming and you see that, you actually don't ask us why things are like that here.
Yeah.
We sometimes like to confuse you and make your visit that much more challenging.
Well,
don't we?
sure, absolutely.
Well,
So-
there is a road that was called Airport Road in Gatlinburg, and right after
I
World War
remember.
II, there was a guy that used to take off and land on that road, and he was doing air tours out of there too. But I don't know how the city of Gatlinburg would feel about me landing on it today, though. You know, so-
Probably have a problem.
yeah, so best just come out to the airport in Sevierville.
That's why I use roofs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how the FAA would feel about me doing that.
Yeah, they might have a problem. I had to get special permission.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, but seriously, it's on your way in. I mean, even before you get to like Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, you just turn a left on Dolly Parton Parkway there off the 66.
Yes, and you go in, and there's
go
again
about a mile
there's
and a half. And
you see the Air Museum.
Yes,
You don't want to
look for
go
the
there.
Air
That's
Museum.
kind of off to your left.
that goes
and you
that
wanna
way.
go-
You want to go that way.
Yeah, to your right.
And there, it's
So-
pretty easy. There's a sign on the fence
It
that says
is.
biplane rides and an arrow pointing to the right.
That's
So
how we, that's how we found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we found it. So
But anyway, but I'll tell you, Mark, it was such a thrill, and again,
It
thank
was.
you for taking us up. That was really something I wanted to
Oh, well-
do. So
I
was-
didn't even know it was on my bucket list till we got up there, and it was like, oh yeah.
it was a pleasure for me. How many pilots can say they've taken Santa flying?
Well,
you know?
that's true. That is true.
well, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we've got a new book to read for you guys, and
Yeah.
we'll talk a little bit more. If you have any questions, get in touch with us now, because this is a good time to find out anything if you
is.
need it.
It
So
is.
otherwise, we recommend you go to the Sky High Air Tours website
Yeah.
and book a flight with Mark. I'll
Yeah,
tell you,
you won't regret it.
You won't regret it, and you'll have the time of your life. So